Well, let's move on then, because we've spoken about the games a little bit in that section there. So let's talk about the games proper. Round 7 is in the books. We have some games to review. Let us know what your thoughts are about these games at CMPerfect at CMPerfect at everything. Let's try that again. At CMPerfect AFL, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and Amazon. As we said at the top of the show. Jesse, should we kick on? Should we kick on right into these bad boys? Thursday night footy. Thursday night footy. Let's talk about it. Thursday night. Where is it? I'm going the wrong way. Thursday night. Go at the MCG. Melbourne 12-11-83, defeating the Tigers 9-9-63 in front of a very healthy 71-635 Anzac Day Eve game, Jesse. Another one of your favourites. Look, a bit of a...
No, can I start with that?
You can start with whatever you want, Jesse. It's your show.
No, it's our show.
That's true. I feel like I just guide the ship.
I do think this has the potential to be a really nice tradition. I just wish they'd dropped the Eve suffix.
Well, they didn't do Eve for any of the other games. The whole round was just an Anzac round. You have the Anzac Day stuff, and the rest of the round is just the Anzac round, which is nice.
That's my only thing to say. But yes, talking about the game itself, this was a strange game.
Yeah.
For me, because it looked like at the start, Richmond could be in real trouble here. And we're talking about a side that could have gone 3-3 had they won this game. And really, I tipped them. I thought they were in with a fighting chance here.
Yeah.
Melbourne got the hot start. Richmond, to their credit, they really dug in for the fight here and clawed themselves back into it. It was obviously too late.
Yep.
But I liked seeing the way they saw out the game. And they kept coming late, and it showed that the young players, the guys that really have to fight for that spot and earn the right to be there, are willing to go and put in those extra yards, irrespective of the scoreboard, because you can see sides just drop their heads and get blown out pretty easily, especially in that bottom part of the ladder. It's a really easy phenomenon to fall into. But I don't think that was the case here. I think we saw a valiant Richmond side, but more importantly, I think in the context of who won the game, Melbourne get 2 in a row, get some good output from some of their senior players who have had mixed seasons, and Max Gawn looks like he's back into his better form as well. So some ticks all around there. Formidable form.
Formidable. And so is Petrarca. Petrarca's been really good since he's come back as well. I think those two definitely steer the ship in a big way, in a huge way. And they had a massive third quarter, which was obviously handy. But you're right. There's something about the Tigers that just doesn't give up. And, I don't want to bring up Fremantle already, because it's not just a Fremantle problem.
That didn't take long.
That's not fair. That's not fair. It's actually not just a Fremantle problem. You see a lot of teams when they get down and things aren't going their way, to what you've just said, they slump. They go away. But the Tigers don't seem to have that in them, which is actually really, really scary for the coming years. Because if they can hold on to that mentality and that mindset, then Uze is doing something very good with this young side. And it's, and like we said, 2 wins already this season when they weren't expected to get any is a very good sign. A very good sign for the Tigers.
One thing I will say, and I promise this isn't a shot at you specifically, Liam.
Shoot me.
You've got Taranto in your best. 22 touches, 14 of those hand passes, 194 metres gained. We've talked about him a couple of times on this show. I don't think he is anywhere near the standard he needs to be for a senior member of this footy club at the moment. He was brought in for decent money to be a key player. I don't think he's anywhere close. You look at guys like Hopper, similar output, not great metres gained, but at least with Hopper, you feel like you get the sense of two-way running. 6 clearances for Hopper, only 3 for Taranto. 4 tackles for Hopper, 1 for Taranto. I think both GWS recruits. I think you really can benchmark them against each other. For me, Hopper is at least delivering on his sales pitch. I don't see the same for Taranto. I think this is going to become a problem for Richmond if they do start to get themselves more games and more wins and start pushing themselves in a year, 2 years, 3 years time for finals. Are we talking Tim Taranto the traffic cone?
Yeah. Yeah, fair shout. Fair shout. Who would you have put in instead?
Well, Tomlin's kicked 3 goals. He also missed plenty, but
yeah. Oh,
that's not bad.
It was a weekend for kicking. I tell you what, we got some other games to talk about where kicking was just atrocious. Atrocious.
Are you okay?
Oh, just a bit thirsty there, Jesse. My apologies. Anything else to add for this one, or should we move on to the second game of the round?
I think we should move on to the second game of the round.
Friday night, not even Anzac Day. This was Collingwood putting their stamp on the Anzac Day game. 16-11, 107, defeating Essendon 10-6, 66 in front of 92,044. Always going to pull a big crowd on Anzac Day, but to kick over 90,000 is pretty epic, especially given it was very wet. It was very wet in Melbourne on Friday. And that being said, a wet and slippery game to kick 107. They're pretty good, aren't they, the Pies? They're pretty good this year.
They're really good. And I know it's easy to fall into the hype vortex with good sides. But, I mean, do we see guys like Steele Sidebottom, Scott Pendlebury lifting their output in 2025? Like, in no way is that a knock on them as players, but to see a spike in output out of 2024 from, we'll call them very established veterans.
Just call them what they are, Jesse. I'm in that bracket as well. They're older now. They're older. They're not getting any younger, but they still deliver. And that's why we thought there might be a bit of a fall off. But it is terrifying. You're correct, because they keep getting. I mean, Sidebottom won the medal. What do they call the Anzac Day medal?
The Anzac medal.
I was going to say, I bet it's just going to be called the Anzac medal, and it's going to make me look like an absolute tool. We've done it again.
That's okay.
Anything about Essendon that we liked, Jesse, that we didn't like? Any comments?
I mean, they got close at one point. It
was the first half, right? The first half was pretty competitive. It was the second half that Collingwood just steamrolled them.
I think I've made this comment out on Essendon a couple of times. I talked about it in the Hawthorn game.
Mm-hmm.
I think we talked about it. We've talked about it pretty much every time they've lost, I think, as well. They have a pretty clearly defined ceiling. And as soon as another side gets past that, it's game over.
Yeah. Because
they can't go beyond a certain output, and they can play a 10 out of 10 game, and a side like Collingwood needs to play a 7 out of 10 game, and they're going to win. Collingwood here probably played, your 8.5 to win by 40 points in a wet day. That's all well and good. But I don't think Hawthorn, for example, were particularly strong against them when they got the job done. I think Port Adelaide, they played probably like a 4 or a 5 out of 10 game by their standards and were rightfully beaten. So Essendon, it's a long road for them. Having Peter Wright back is a big help because he's very tall and you can actually kick it to him in the forward line.
How tall is he?
He's 2 meters.
Is he? Is he 2 meter, Peter?
Could you believe that? So we'll see. We'll see with Essendon, but I just don't have very high expectations.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Let's move on to our other Anzac Day game. Freo, 12-13-85, defeating the Crows 9-13-67 in front of a very healthy 53,048. So many healthies. I keep saying healthy crowds.
Go 2-5.
What's that?
Go 2-5.
Go 2-5?
Yeah. Oh, you are old. You wouldn't even know that campaign. Got to get your two fruits and your 5 veg every day.
What was it when I was a kid? I can't remember.
Cigarettes are good for you?
Yeah. Campbell's cigarettes and choc milk every breakfast. Thank you very much. But no, we'll add this game, Jesse. Obviously, the Len Hall tribute game. Let's move on about how old I am. Len Hall tribute game, which was it's always nice. I mean, I wanted to get there nice and early because I like the ceremony. I like seeing what they do, and I think Freo are definitely up there with one of the best. I think they're talking about trying to get this as a staple fixture of Anzac Day, which I wouldn't be against at all. Enough about that. Let's talk about the game. Freo won this, obviously, but I still felt like the only real difference in Freo's game this round, as opposed to the other weeks, was that they had a bit more want to win this game. There was a definite ferocity in their tackles. There's definite urgency about it. However, I think we both still saw this on the day as well. There's still that lack of movement. It was still quite slow, and we still left ourselves open quite a bit for everyone. Pack tackle, easy escape over the top, which is a staple for us this year, unfortunately. That said, it was very nice to see them play like they wanted to win a game of football, which can't be said about the week prior. Brayshaw was great. Strong was great. Bolton was great. Jesse, what do you want to say about it?
You're absolutely right. It was great to see an invigorated Fremantle side. But I want to point something out to you.
Okay.
Adelaide had 19 more tackles in that match.
Interesting.
And Fremantle only matched their average of 53. So the average for the season is 53.4 for Fremantle. So technically, they actually performed under their average. They only got 53 as a whole number.
Yeah, sure. You can't get 0.4 of a tackle, Jesse. We'll call it an average.
Well, if you ask anyone who tries to tackle Matthew Johnson, they will tell you can get 0.4 of a tackle because he just says, no, get off me immediately. I don't like you. But look, some real positives here for the Dockers. They led for the entire match, so Adelaide had no time in front across the game. That's nice. Love that for them. Dominated clearances, 38-30. That's a big tick for Freo as well. Disposal efficiency was down for both sides across the game, but I think that was a testament to what was a pretty decent game in terms of pressure.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I'm concerned about, though, is that Fremantle are still leaving opportunities on the table. 45% efficiency inside 50 compared to 57. I do wonder how much of this game is Adelaide having an off night rather than Fremantle winning, because as you alluded to, Liam, the game plan hasn't changed. It's the same thing. And too many times, players are actively turning their back on the play to walk back and slow to set up for a kick down the line. And if I see that kick in from Luke Ryan to the edge of the centre square one more time from our goal end, I think I don't know what would even happen, Liam. It drives me absolutely insane that we have one kick-in strategy and it doesn't work.
I got a taste of it on Friday. I heard you. You were sitting next to the Adelaide fans too. You were having a good old chat with them. It's good. Yeah, it's tricky, right? Because obviously we're pumped for the win. This is probably one we didn't expect to get, which is always fantastic. But yeah, I don't know. It's just like there's no. The amount we're lucky. We have good seats that look down onto the field. We can see quite right down the field as well.
Yeah.
So we can see what's going on. And how many leads were just left?
Jai. Honestly, why is Jai even playing? And that's in no way a shot at Jai. But there's actually no point him being out there if no one's going to honour his leads.
No.
He may as well just go stand in the goal square for 3 hours. Because he is gut running to get leads and he's just being ignored every time.
I feel like Freddie's gut running around the entire field and no one's paying any attention to him as well. Anyway, we don't want to pick on it because we won. Happy days. Just some concerns from a loving fan and a loving fan. That's all it is. Adelaide, what to say about them?
They'll be really disappointed with this. But I do think you can look at this on its merits and say off night. Both teams coming in off a 6-day break. I don't know if that was just a case of it affected Adelaide more than it affected Freo. I also think no Darcy Fogarty as well. That can't be underplayed. And Thilthorpe spent a quarter and a half, which was Adelaide's best period, also injured with a hand issue, or an arm issue, so that didn't help either. I just think it's an off night for the Crows. And still, they kicked 4 goals, 5 to 5 behinds in that last quarter.
Yeah.
They easily could have stolen it.
Mm-hmm. Scary. Scary. But they didn't. Good win for the Dockers. We will move on to the next game, lest we talk about this for the next hour. Saturday. St Kilda 11-7-73, defeated by the Brisbane Lions 17-16, 118 at Marvel Stadium in front of 29,901. Another big win for the Lions, Jesse.
Yeah, and some worries here for St Kilda. But we'll start with Brisbane. Very, very much an aggressive style of footy from the Lions, and loved what we saw from them. Dominated disposal. You touch the ball 22 more times than the opposition, but you use it for 23 more inside 50s. That's good efficiency. Yeah. When you're getting that ball in there, their efficiency inside 50, just under 20 percentage points better than the Saints. That's the stuff you want to be seeing. 52-34 in clearances in favour of Brisbane, despite St Kilda winning the hit-outs. That's a domination.
Yeah.
That is an absolute domination. And St Kilda are coming into this off an absolute domination in the hands of the Dogs in that area as well. So, real concerns for the Saints here. And keep in mind, 17-16, it's a pass.
Yeah.
But when you're kicking 16 points, you flip 3 of those the other way. What are we talking? Talking 10-goal result.
Yeah.
Just about.
Yeah.
In fact, exactly a 10-goal result.
There we go.
When you factor in the behind. So that's a concern for me with the Saints. They're going to have to lift a lot if they want to salvage this season. Or if they're just happy to use it as a development year, that's fine too.
Well, I guess that's one of the things, right? Is just them trying their new style of footy, seeing if it works against all the teams, not just one or two, but seeing if it just works against every single team, and getting caught out like this and learning from that and being okay, that's fine. We've got a valuable lesson. Tick that box, cross that box. We know it does and does not work. But I mean, Neil ran rampant. He got 3 goals. When was the last time he kicked 3 goals? It's been a minute.
Lucky Neil Coleman contender.
Yeah, exactly. Well, who is leading the Coleman at the moment? Just aside, probably not Max King. no, Ben King. Benjamin King. He's had a great year. We'll get to him in a second. Now, another big win for the Lions. Anything else to add about this one before we move on, Jesse? Boom. Nope. Boom. Saturday. In a weird game. This is a very strange game of football at the Adelaide Oval. 14-13-97 to the Power. Nearly getting done in by the Kangas. 13-10-88 in front of 35,004 people. Like, North had the chances in this game. And they played some really, really great footy. But it was weird because it was almost like the umps just wanted some attention in this particular game. I don't know if I've seen as many 50-metre penalties in any game of football for quite some time. There were some bizarre calls, and in both ways, but I think mostly towards the Adelaide teams. What have the umpires got against the Adelaide teams, Jesse? I'm not sure. They'll tell you. But I don't know. Like the Horn Francis thing, like getting all wound up as well.
That was very strange.
The whole game was strange. It was just a weird game. Did you watch this one, Jesse?
I didn't watch it live. Caught a replay.
Yeah.
So I missed out on some of that, the pantomime and the drama of seeing it all happen live. But no, from a statistics point of view, this match was won by the fact that Port had 29 more tackles than North.
Yeah.
Port's tackle average is 57.1. They got 83. They were putting the body work on against a younger side. They bullied them out of the game in the end. But, gee, they also wasted some chances too. They had some absolute howlers in front of goal, Port Adelaide, including in the goal square. You see 14-13, you think, oh, yeah, that's not great. It's not terrible. It's not great. But, gee, there was also some shockers that didn't get a point.
But North were the same. They had 10 behinds of their own. And again, all very gettable. Like set shots from goal from people that you expect to kick them. And I don't know. I don't know how to actually describe this game. Unless you watched it, you don't really know how weird it was. It was just, it was a weird vibe to it, Jesse.
It's going to be one of those games that goes in like the KO Classics in 10 years' time. And you look and think, why? These teams are bad. And you think, oh, yeah, okay, this is like a little like time capsule almost.
Yeah. But no, I mean, Horn Francis, man. Let's go back to him real quick.
He's got to cool his jets. It's that simple.
Well, he was having a spray at the umpire. Then he wanted to keep on going with a bit of a tussle. He was being spoken to, being held by two of his. I think it was Butters and Rosie were both like hands on shoulders, holding him there, while Ken was looking him dead in the eye. Tried to leave.
He's just Ken.
He is just Ken. He brought him back. And he was like, "Not done. I'm not done, young man. I have to have a word with you still." Father-son talk. It was very, very strange. It was all very strange. But I agree. He's got to pull his head in. He's a good player, but he's got to. I'm not sure what set him off this game, but something definitely just sticking the thumb into the ribs. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there's anything.
They need to play this game at Marvel next year. I'm sick of the AFL dodging it. Put this game in front of the North fans because they've dodged it since he's moved from North to Port. They've dodged putting this game in Victoria's Head. They've done a gather-round game. They've done a home game for Port. Put this at Marvel next year.
I thought I heard them say something along the lines of that North hadn't played Port in Adelaide for some time. Unless I misheard that. I know they haven't won like the last 14, but I thought I heard a stat that said North have it's always in Adelaide. That's your point. I'm going to move on. Jesus Christ. Let's move on to the next game, Jesse. Oh my word. This is an interesting one as well. In Manuka, in Canberra, 12-9, 81 to the Giants. Defeated quite handily by the Bulldogs, 17-11, 113. In front of 12,234 people. That is 3,000 more than they get at NG.
Move them.
Move them.
I said it last year. Move them.
Move them.
They turn up. It would have been very cold. I kind of make sure April in that's the reason they run the marathon in Canberra in April because it's bloody cold.
Mm-hmm. I can tell you, having lived in Canberra before, I was there. I was down the road that game where it started snowing. It's very cold. It's very cold in Canberra.
Brr.
Brr. Brr. But no, the Bulldogs, man, they just look so good. They look like a team. Do you know what I mean? Like they look like they like we said earlier, they're out there to play for each other. Everything looks good. They're all, I don't know. They're just good. I like watching them. I like watching them, Jesse.
They are dominating clearance. They are absolutely dominating clearance. 55-33. It was a similar margin against the Saints last week. They are just pulverizing opposition from the middle, and that unrelenting wave of football going into their forward line is caving good defenses, bad defenses, okay defenses. It's simply too much for opposition defense at the moment. There's a reason they can comfortably score 100 points a game. Yeah. Because if the ball's down there that much, they're going to get opportunities. They're going to score goals. This is exciting for the Dogs. The Giants will be disappointed in this because despite that clearance domination, they had more of the football. They held the football for more. They had 394 disposals to 352, and they've done nothing with it.
Yeah.
It's great to have the football, but they lost by 5 goals. Really, it was an 8-goal loss, if that makes sense. The official margin's 5 goals, but it felt like an 8-goal game between them.
They were kind of inept up forward, which is not what we used to say.
Well, David King used the word impotent post-game, which was interesting. I don't know if he cleared that with the producers beforehand, but he said it about 4 times. He was really had his mind on it. Did King in the post-game broadcast of this. To the point where I was starting to get a bit concerned. I was wondering if there was a number I could call to the First Crack studio just to make sure everyone was okay. But no, look, I think it's probably a harsh descriptor, but I don't think it's outside the realms of accuracy when it comes to what the Giants are delivering going forward, because they're not hurting their opposition at the moment, and that's allowing, despite statistical superiority in some elements, that it's allowing them to get dominated.
Yeah. It's I really liked the Kennedy's playing like a madman at the Bulldogs since he's moved over. Harm's been looking really good as well, but Libba, man, like I don't know if I've ever seen a season like this from Libba. Like he's always just kind of been there, right? He's a Liberatore, sons of the Scray, he's there. His dad was there. He's just there. But this year, I feel like we're talking about him for more than his shitty tattoos. They're quite funny. They're quite funny tattoos.
You can't talk.
Sir, fair enough. I got some silly ones. That's fair. But he's having a banner year. He's having a banner year this year, and it's good to see, because I'm going to show my footy ineptitude here. Is he the captain this year? Or just when Bont's out? Who's the captain? Just when Bont's out. Okay, fair enough. I'm so good at this.
That's okay. It's okay. You've got Kepler as handsome in your under tag there, so you're doing great. I don't know if it actually shows up on the stream.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't. Okay, it's just for our entertainment.
Just for our entertainment, Jesse. Just for our entertainment.
Well, let's just keep this inside joke and not tell people what it is. Next game.
Next game. At People First Stadium. The Suns 17-15, 117, defeating the Swans 12-7, 79 in a second half boil-over that absolutely... I wasn't watching this game live. I had it on like in the background. I was doing some other things, bits and bobs. Sunday was a busy day for me. Halftime, I was just like, it looks like a pretty decent game of football. Swans were ahead. And then all of a sudden, boom. Suns just went ballistic.
They did.
Absolutely banana.
11 goals to 3. Not only 11 goals to 3, 11 goals 9.
Yeah.
After halftime.
What happened, Jesse?
Domination from Gold Coast. It was a powerful display in every sense. Jed Walter got himself going. I think it was his best game. He probably got he got one free kick that was a bit generous, where he seemed to just fall over and was given the free kick. But he's starting to command defensive attention in a real sense, and that's allowing guys like Ben King to get even more off the leash. You put 2 on King, Walter's now standing by himself. That can't happen either. So it's exciting for the Suns. Long way back for the Swans from here, because they're just not performing. They're an underperforming side. And, you look at guys like you have something to say?
Personnel-wise,
Mhm.
right? What's changed since last year? Because I don't feel like much has
The
changed.
lack of forward depth is hurting them,
Right.
but that doesn't solve getting smashed in contested possession.
Yeah.
It doesn't change conceding 17 goals.
I just feel like there's like, if you look at the team list from last year to this year, I'm seeing a lot of familiar faces.
I mean, Noah Marty is hurting them at the moment. Like, I'm happy to concede that.
But
But he
Amadi-
also wasn't excelling
Yeah, like
in the start of the season.
He's one of those players who has like, it pops up every now and then, has a 9-goal a game, but outside of that, like to me he's kind of like an okay forward. Like he's not elite, he's just okay.
But this is what's holding them back.
Yeah, I mean, big time, big time. I mean, who else is there? Who's up forward? You got Heaney pushes forward. You got, Lizard kicking. Lizard kicked 3 on the weekend, didn't he?
We'll go through the goal scorers then. Blakey with 3, Chad Warner with 2, Campbell with 2, Corey Warner with 1, McLean got 1. He's probably someone you're relying on at this point in time. Laddams as a resting ruckman got 1, and James Jordan got 1, along with Heaney. That's a problem.
It's a mishmash.
Ultimately, yeah. Ultimately, that's a big problem. You look at Gold Coast, Ben King with 4, Humphrey with 3, Walter with 3, Daniel Rioli with 2, and then singles to Rao, Long, Holman. It's a very different story there.
Yeah, because you got your bit players or your midfielders coming through and getting your 1 or 2, pepper a few in as you would expect, but you have your forwards
who are there to kick goals.
Yes. Whew. Let's see if the Swans can turn it around. Let's move on to the next game here. We're on Sunday. Oh, we're at the final game already. Look at us go. Sunday,
Are
Marvel.
we?
Are we?
You've missed a game.
Oh, yeah. It's in the wrong spot. This game. Do you know what, Jesse? I'm going to buck trend. I'm going to do that other game last. I'm going to skip to the last game. I'm going to come back.
You madman.
I know. I think it's worth it. Marvel Stadium, 18-16, 124 to the Hawks, defeating the Eagles 11-8, 74 in front of 26,425. Because realistically, Jesse, what is there to say about this game? It happened as we expected it to happen.
Hawthorn wasteful, especially early.
Yes.
Crushingly wasteful.
This is one of the teams when you said earlier, wasteful. Hawks could have just. This could have been 100 points.
The fact that Tom Barrass went forward, I think, says all you need to know.
It's a shame he couldn't get his second career goal, but that's okay. Gave it a crack. Was it Tom Barrass going for 2 and was it Bruce going for 500 or Gunston going for 500? It was Gunston. One of them was going for 500.
And he kicked 4. So, there you go. Chol with 3 as well. It's just a very good Hawthorn side.
Very good Hawthorn side.
Didn't really feel the need to get out of first gear.
No.
And were they ever... It was close enough at quarter time. In credit to West Coast, they played a pretty gritty first quarter out, but it was also 2 goals, 8 from Hawthorn.
Yeah.
Like it could have been. And then, second quarter, it's 9 goals to 2. Sorry, 7 goals to 2.
Mm-hmm.
That's
not great. Did the Eagles win the last quarter?
No, because Hawks still kicked 6 goals to West Coast 4.
Damn. So still only won 2 quarters for the year, the Eagles. Crikey, gee. All right, let's move on. So realistically, there's not much to say about this game. It happened as we expected. The last game, not the last game, but the last game we're going to talk about at the G, Carlton 14-10-94, defeating the Geelong Cats 12-4-76 in front of 67,658. Well, Carlton, hello. Where have you been? This game was a cracker. It's a great one. Did you get this one, Jesse?
Carlton winning games. 2025 against good sides. Who would have thought? No, look, this is a big win for Carlton, and it's a win that shows themselves more than anything they can do it. Big output from the key forwards, which is good. Big output from the midfielders, which is good. This feels like a game where everything went right for Carlton.
Yes.
Everyone stepped up.
Yep.
Which doesn't always happen. In fact, I think in Carlton's case this season, it's very rarely happened. So this is a big result for them. I don't know how sustainable it is, though. I'm just gonna caveat that out before we go talk to Geelong. I don't think this output. So Walsh 29. So Walsh 30, Hewitt 29, Cripps 29, Hollands 25, Cherry 25. I don't think that level of disposal is sustainable. They dominated in that front. I don't think it's sustainable.
It's going to be, well, let's see if they back it up. I mean, because realistically speaking, this is what they've always, what everyone's been saying this year. Carlton need to show what they can do against a good team. They've shown that they can best a really good team in a really good game.
Geelong clearly not at their best and still almost pinched it. They'll be very disappointed because they've dropped winnable games, as we talked about earlier in our Pretenders, Contenders, Duds segment. I think they'll be really disappointed. In fact, they conceded 63 inside 50s to their own 44. That alone just shows how dominant Carlton were possession-wise, and it's a long way back. And so for it to only be a 3-goal game, they took their chances, the Cats, when they were there, but they just didn't get enough of them.
Yeah. No, I think if you're a Blues fan, you're pretty buzzing this week, and rightly so. But I think a big game next week, I believe against Adelaide, should be in Adelaide. Will be another big test.
They are the pride of South Australia.
That is true. But if they can get that, if they can get one up on Adelaide next week, I think we'll probably take a bit more notice if they can back this up. Because, like you said, like it did feel like everything was picture perfect, and you get those games. You get those games where everything just clicks, and this definitely was that game for Carlton. I think that probably caught Geelong off guard just a smidge, but hey, you can't say too many bad things about the Blues just yet. We'll see how they go next week. Jesse, anything else to add before we wrap this one up?
Let's send them home.
Send them home, Jesse.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning into the Centimetre Perfect AFL podcast. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment below how your team went during round number 7. Make sure if you're on YouTube, just click over there somewhere, or there, or wherever it is. Wherever it says Just the Tips round 8, that's where you should be clicking. That's where we're going to talk about the upcoming round. Until then, tell your friends about this podcast. Tell your family about this podcast. Tell the airline flight attendants about this podcast, because it's almost time for winter getaways.
That's true.
You know? Too cold in miserable Victoria. Week in Perth. Make sure you tell the flight attendant that you listen to the Centimetre Perfect AFL podcast, and preferably that you think WA is the best state in the country. Until then, we'll see you soon on the Centimetre Perfect AFL podcast.
Bye, everybody.